Boltzmann brain is a thought experiment that speculates on the nature of reality. It suggests that, given infinite time, a self-aware consciousness could spontaneously emerge from random quantum fluctuations. This hypothetical brain would possess fabricated memories and perceptions of a structured universe. Despite existing as a brief and chaotic anomaly, the thought experiment raises a fundamental question. Is it more probable that our universe exists in its vast complexity, or that a single consciousness, complete with false memories, randomly forms? If the latter is more likely, then everything we experience could simply be an illusion produced by a fleeting Boltzmann brain. Example from everyday life. Imagine waking up one day with complete memories of a life that never happened. Like in The Truman Show, what if everything around you was fabricated but you never realized it? The philosophical idea that only one's own mind can be known to exist with certainty. Everything else, the external world, other people, and objects, may merely be constructs of one's consciousness. This perspective suggests that because all experience is filtered through an individual's perception, we can never truly confirm an external reality independent of our own mind. In essence, solipsism questions whether the world we interact with is real or simply a projection of our consciousness. Example from everyday life. Have you ever dreamed and believed it was real? If nothing can prove that the world outside your mind exists, how can we be sure we are not just living in a continuous dream? The teleportation paradox. Imagine stepping into a teleportation device that scans and disassembles every atom in your body, then reconstructs an identical version of you in another location. The new version has your memories, thoughts, and personality, making them indistinguishable from the original. However, does this process preserve your identity, or does it merely create a copy while the original ceases to exist? If the first version is destroyed upon teleportation, was that person effectively killed? This paradox challenges our understanding of identity and continuity of self. Example from everyday life. Think about copying a file to another computer and deleting the original. The file still exists, but is it the same or just a copy? Now apply this idea to yourself. The egg theorethis philosophical concept proposes that every individual who has ever lived or will ever live is, in reality, the same being experiencing life from different perspectives across time. According to the theory, each person's death leads to their reincarnation as another human, repeating the cycle until all possible lives have been experienced. The universe, in this sense, acts as an incubator for this singular entity, helping it mature until it reaches a higher state of consciousness and transcends its human limitations. Example from everyday life. Have you ever felt an instant connection with someone you just met? What if we have lived as different people before, unknowingly sharing the same consciousness? The omnipotence paradox questions whether an all-powerful being can create a rock so heavy that even they cannot lift it. If they can, then there is something they cannot do, lifting the rock implying they are not truly omnipotent. If they cannot create such a rock, this also indicates a limitation. This paradox forces us to examine whether absolute power is logically possible, or if the concept itself is inherently contradictory. Example from everyday life. When a child asks, "Can God create something so big that even He can't lift it?" They are, without knowing, formulating a version of this philosophical dilemma. Antinataliz mentalis is a philosophical position, arguing against bringing new life into existence. It suggests that since life inevitably includes suffering, pain, and hardship, it is morally preferable to prevent future generations from experiencing these struggles. Some antinatalists also cite environmental concerns, asserting that reducing the human population would lessen the burden on Earth's resources and minimize overall suffering. Example from everyday life. Have you ever heard someone say, "Bringing kids into the world today is a mistake"? This reflects one of the key ideas of antinatalism, which argues that human suffering makes life undesirable. Free will is an illusion. This theory posits that human beings lack genuine free will. While we feel like we make choices, our desires and decisions are ultimately shaped by external factors and prior causes beyond our control. For example, if you choose chocolate ice cream over vanilla, that decision is driven by a preference you did not consciously create. Since all actions arise from pre-existing conditions, true free will might be an illusion. Example from everyday life. Have you ever wanted to go on a diet but ended up eating that dessert anyway? If your decision was influenced by impulses you don't control, did you really have a choice?